All right, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Crypto Convo, series where we cover exciting news and price action in the land of Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and crypto-related stocks. You guys, we kicked off the week with some volatility. Bitcoin, along with the majority of the crypto sector, is currently seeing a pretty solid pullback, but that said, I want to make it very clear that I'm still a bull. I do still believe that all-time highs for Bitcoin and many of the plays we're talking about today are on the horizon, will happen sooner than later. But that said, as I always say, corrections are a healthy part of every bull market. So I will give you guys my downside price targets to let you guys know where I'm comfortable accumulating in some of these names for the upside price targets that we hopefully hit one of these days. Again, sooner than later. But that said, there are a few splashes of green in here that I am excited to talk to you guys about as well. I will talk to you guys about just general thoughts around the correlation between different specific segments of the cryptocurrency sector as a whole, how I think these will impact each other. So I'm excited to dive into all these names today, red or green. So let's get into it. As always, we'll quickly go over each of the names we're going to be covering today, and then we'll dive into each one individually. In front of us, you guys know the drill, TradingView, where we'll talk price action, once again, price targets to both the downside and upside, and just good old technical analysis, let you guys know what all these trend lines are and whatnot, and scenarios I see playing out to both the upside and downside for each of these. All right, kicking it off, of course, with the king. Got to kick it off with the king because ultimately Bitcoin's price action will have somewhat of an effect on the cryptocurrency sector as a whole. All right, so Bitcoin is the king asset, and of course it will have the most direct impact on our favorite Bitcoin mining plays around here, Marathon Digital or Mara, and Riot Blockchain or Riot. Okay, so Mara and Riot are finally playing catch up. They're really working in tandem, which is kind of nice to see. But I do remain bullish on Mara, and of course, I will explain kind of the things that I'm generally explaining now as we dive into these charts. So, Bitcoin miners, Mara and Riot move on to the blockchain plays, the blockchain boys, Zeekin and XNet. So, ZK International still having a good day. Zeekin is on a tear. Very happy. I went into this week with a very significant Zeekin position channel portfolio group. XNet, unfortunately, did not do nearly as well as I thought it would this week, but you guys, that happens. I'm still bullish on XNet. XNet is actually printing a nice short-term bull flag, so hopefully we see that play out. Of course, you guys, there is always potential for it to not play out, but I'm still bullish on XNet. Of course, bull flag makes me bullish, and I do still believe, again, I will talk about that correlation between the cryptocurrency sector as a whole and how I feel like some of these plays within it will operate with each other. Because again, ZK, Zeekin, and Seawork, which is the next play we're going to be covering, we're in the green today. Seawork was up double digits at one point today. So it feels very good to see two of my personal favorite stock positions in my portfolio, two of the largest positions as well, do so well today. And again, it's interesting to see how these react to Bitcoin and how they can somewhat act as hedges within the sector itself, okay? So Seawork, again, these OTC plays, Seawork, and last but not least, the Mars rover that is currently refueling after today, Alternate Systems or ALYI. I was so bullish on ALYI going into this week. We had that great news come out yesterday with this sick bike. I thought it was a sick bike. But we saw it absolutely fall off a cliff today. It kicked off the morning so strong on such a strong foot, but we saw some butterfingers, we saw some papery hands, and that gave me an opportunity to exercise these bad boys and pick up more, okay? And I do actually want to show you, because I did mention to the portfolio group in my newsletter this morning, I mentioned how many shares I actually own, because a lot of people ask. I don't really feel comfortable sharing numbers with you guys just because I feel like it's honestly unnecessary, but I got a lot of response. I got a lot of feedback that it was very reassuring and made a lot of my subscribers a lot more confident, and really did. Like, again, it shows where I put my money where my mouth is. So I will bring this up. I own 4.25 million shares personally of ALYI. Currently $100,000 down, but as you guys know, I've been accumulating this whole ride down because I'm so bullish on the future potential of this company. So I'll talk to you guys about that again. Why? Just give you guys the reasons why I'm so bullish on this company. Again, you guys, I have no direct affiliation with this company at all, but as you guys can see here, I do hold a solid, at least for me, a solid bag of ALY. It's crazy how I know a lot of people who hold as many, if not more, shares than me, and it's awesome to just exercise the diamond hands. They did reach out, they picked up more today, and it's just so sick to be involved in what I feel like is such a stock with so much potential. So again, I will ramble more about that at the end, but I'll save that for last because we're probably going to spend a decent amount of time on that. Again, Stoked to dive into all of these charts with you guys. Before we do, as always though, I will ask you to please give the video a like if you do go on to gain value from it today. If you're still a bull on the sector like I am, if you still think this is a correction, and of course if you are trading or investing in any of the stocks or assets we're talking about, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, want to catch more content like this, I've definitely been on the crypto bandwagon, but I'm actually again, I just talked about this in the newsletter this morning. I am eyeballing a few other sectors. I've been so tunnel vision on crypto lately, but there are a few other sectors in the market that are now catching my eye. If we do maybe see a short-term pullback in crypto, still very, very excited about crypto, of course, but there are some other sectors catching my eye as well, which I probably will talk about over the course of this week. So subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, want to catch more content like this, and of course, check out my complete portfolio daily newsletter. First link down in the description, $15 a month if you want the following: a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio, which I do update every single trading day. So all call options, put options, stock positions, crypto positions. Again, update that every single trading day. Let you guys know what trades I'm personally making the day of during market hours. And with every update, I send out an email newsletter explaining my thoughts. So give you guys a nice intro, let you guys know what I'm thinking about the day in general, talk about the trades I made, and then throw some charts in there, throw some quick analyses in there, let you guys know why I'm making the trades I'm making, whether it's fundamentally, technically, literally just my thoughts around the trade. All right, so once again, $15 a month, first link in the description if you're interested in that. If not, as always, no worries, let's dive into these charts. So Bitcoin, we're gonna kick it off with the 4 hours, maybe go to the 1 hour isn't really necessary. We will jump to the 1 hour for a few of these because I want to talk about the shorter term targets for some of these plays, primarily to the upside. But for Bitcoin, we will stick with the 4 hour, talk about this nice potential bull flag that's playing out. So I don't have the flag drawn here. I'll draw that right now. But you guys can't see this is somewhat of a bull flag printing right now. And it's very, very bullish in the sense, I'll just say that right now because it's right in front of my face. It's a very good sign. You don't get rid of this because that's going to be distraction. That's just for the intro. But I do think it's very bullish, like this bounce that just happened right here. So this is almost the exact same thing that we saw happen here. Again, like big move down, few 4 hour candles down, just straight red, little bounce, and then another move down. So which is very similar to what we saw here. And then you see these 2 4 hour candles, like they wick up real quick, but you're seeing the first wick go down, the second wick doesn't come as far down, and we're seeing that mirror right here. The more important thing about that is that we're still printing a higher low on this like bull flag looking thing. Okay, this is a higher low if we do break. So by the time I upload this video, honestly, this may be resolved. If we do break below 53.5, no, I'm sorry, if we break below the lower low here, so if we break the lowest low from what is that, March 15th, so just about a few days ago right there, if we break below that, a week ago, I'm sorry, if we break below, time's flying, if we break below 53.2, then I think it's likely we see more downside, and my downside price target is going to be in this range right here. So I have the orange drawn here for my downside price target. So downside, I think is very unlikely we break below 50K. That said, we would still set, if we came down here, we would still be setting a higher low, I'm sorry, on the overall uptrend. So again, high, low, higher high right here, and then higher low right here. And then we'll start that ascent back up to what I believe is going to be about 80K. So again, I have so much going on here. I'm trying to get this quick so we can move into some of the other names. But if we do play out this little bull flag short term, because I think it is very likely, again, bull flag, as the name implies, is a bullish pattern. Parabolic move up followed by a ascending triangle. We're kind of seeing that now. So in the short term, I think it's very possible, again, because we did see a beautiful bounce here, I think it's very possible that we come up to test the line of resistance on the short-term downtrend. That would complete the flag. Maybe after this, that would actually also line up nicely with this red line right here, which was a very strong line of support that once we broke, that's when we really fell off the cliff, okay? So, again, previous support is going to be new resistance. There's 2 lines of resistance right here that intersect on the 24th. That would make sense to me. Maybe we bounce up to about 57 once again on the 24th, come back down for the last wave of this bull flag, and then usually we resolve. Actually, we'll probably come down to here just to set another higher low on this little pattern right here, and then boom, we're off to the races. So that's one scenario I see playing. But again, the other, which I think is, in all honesty, pretty likely, I think we do just come down to like the 50K to 51K, 50 to 52K. I'm not exactly sure where it's going to hit, but again, just look for ceilings and floors in this mess of a chart right here, this kind of inverse head and shoulders looking thing. But just for Bitcoin to set a higher low on the overall uptrend. And then of course, you guys, this is a simple price target using this is a pretty conservative price target. Obviously a lot of traders are going to be looking at this high at the beginning of the year, the next high February 21st. That would take us to, if we hit it by like April 10th, just where I extended this out to, that would take us to about 76K. But then I think it's also possible if we break, just say we break 76K over the course of the next month or so, I think it's very likely we ultimately come up to test one of these trend lines. So this trend line right here was in play over the month of February. Very strong line of resistance right here. I still think it's possible for that bad boy to come into play. April 10th would be about 96K there. If we break, again, you guys, just keep an eye on all these levels. Keep an eye on these basic uptrends. And it's very important, as you guys know, to keep a close eye on Bitcoin. Once again, the reason we kick it off with Bitcoin is because it will have somewhat of an impact on the rest of the sector, specifically Bitcoin miners like Mara and Riot. So let's breeze through these guys. Again, you guys, I'm going to try to go through these somewhat quickly just because, especially with Mara and Riot, again, they're going to be very, very correlated with Bitcoin, okay? So Mara, once again, actually does look better to me on the charts than Riot. And this is still like a pretty easy chart to read in my mind. So Mara is currently, even though it is down a bit in after hours, I think both Mara and Riot are down about 2%. In after hours trading, but it is still above this line of support that I've had drawn for a very long time. So acted as both a line of resistance and support in the past for Mara. This trend line right here is definitely in play, and it's very bullish that we are seeing a bounce off of that. Similar to, Bitcoin, just a tale of higher highs and higher lows across so many plays in the sector. High, low, higher low. Unless we break below 30, just safe. Unless we break below $35 on Mara, I think it's very likely we'll just continue the uptrend. And again, because I am bullish on Bitcoin still, I think it's very likely that we do continue the uptrend for both Mara and Riot. So topside price target for Mara, it's been my price target forever. Just say we hit it let's just go April 5th, Pop's birthday right there. If we hit it on April 5th, that would take us to about a $70 Mara. And again, because a lot of traders are going to use absolute highs, you could say it's going to be like a $73, $74 Mara. Okay, so conservatively, price target by early April, maybe mid-May April. You guys, maybe it takes a little longer for this to play out, but ultimately I do think that these topside lines of resistance on the overall uptrends will be hit. I still think the uptrends are in play, and again, it's just a matter of if not when, in my opinion. So Riot is looking a little sketchy. Riot is currently just on top, and because it's down in after hours, I think it is going to be a little below this, but again, it's all we'll have to see how tomorrow plays out. I still think it's very similar to Mara. Riot, the reason I drew this, the reason I drew this is because this is a little sketchier because we are seeing a double top here. So Riot, technically, from a technical perspective, did not set a higher high, which is worrisome. If we break below, very similar to Mara, if we break below like $53 in Riot, that would signal to me, and we'd break below the support, we break a lower low, and that would mean it's very likely to me that we will test the overall line of support for Riot. Which if you guys remember a few weeks ago, I was actually calling for around this. We did test it a few weeks ago. I'm sorry, but again, I think it's not at all out of the realm of possibility if we break below this significantly. Again, if we set a lower low on this because we did double top, which, as you guys know, is will favor the opposite direction of the way the double top is going. So a double top is likely to go down, a double bottom is likely to go up most of the time. Okay, so it wouldn't surprise me if we come back down to test this again, if Bitcoin falls down again. But topside price target for Riot, I keep scrolling, my bad, guys. Kanan got beat up today. We're not going to talk about Kanan, but Kanan got beat up. I wish I kept those puts. I don't know why I sold them. I should have kept them. But regardless, I do think Riot will test this trend line for this trend line right here, which is the same one for Mara, the cyan and the green one. I'm not going to talk about the green one just yet, but I think it is very likely that by mid maybe by mid-April. So again, just April 14th. I have this extended out a little bit, but again, you guys, it's all dependent on when these lines of resistance are hit, and depending on when Bitcoin does well, all the factors that we always talk about. I'm sure you guys understand where I'm going, but just say April 12th, we test this trend line. We would set a new all-time high in Riot. That would take us to about $95. All right. If we do go on to test, if we break $100, if we break triple digits, I think it's very likely we'll easily ultimately come up to test this. Let's say April 21st, just where this line is. That would take us to, got to scroll up a little bit. We're going way into space. That would take us to like $150, $160 Riot. So again, we will cross these bridges as we come to it. I will keep you guys posted as always. But again, corrections are a healthy part of bull market. If we fall down more, it's just more opportunity for growth. Moving on, ZK, splash of green. We'll go zigzag right here for the last four. So ZK is just looking good. Again, they announced that NFT project, very bullish. NFTs are hype. So ZK, conservative price target for ZK by the end of, we'll go to the hourly for the remaining plays. All right. So ZK, again, I have a few conservative price targets right here. The first is going to be, and ZK is also printing a pretty nice bull flag right here. So parabolic move followed by a wedge, not really descending triangle, but a nice kind of like wedge pattern there. Again, parabolic move up, wedge, kind of just a wedge, but also wedges, when you're in a bull market, wedges are a lot more likely to resolve to the upside as opposed to the downside. Okay. So conservative price target for Zekin is going to be about, say we hit it by the end of this month, is going to be about 17 bucks. Again, there's so much hype behind Zekin. Zekin technically did, just at the end of last week, again, broke its yearly high, which is very bullish as well. And I see a lot of upside potential for Zekin still. Again, because a lot of eyes are on this, a lot of traders are going to be looking at this. I think it's very, very possible for Zekin to also use, again, this non-conservative. I give you guys a conservative one, but this non-conservative one too. Say we hit it by the end of the month, that would take us to a $20+ Zekin, okay? Which, of course, is just under a 2x from here. So very exciting potential, like, 60 to 80%. So very exciting potential there, but again, we'll have to see how these plays. Obviously, ZK did prove itself as somewhat of a hedge to the crypto sector. So just from here, you guys, look how, watch how these specific stocks react to each other. So obviously, Bitcoin was doing poorly. Bitcoin fell off a cliff. Riot and Mar, considering their Bitcoin miners, didn't do well. It surprised me that XNet didn't do well today. I'm really bummed about that, which is like, I hope you guys understand my rationale behind XNet. Like Zekin and Seawork, again, those blockchain tech plays, that was kind of just my theory behind maybe if capital flows out of Bitcoin mining stocks like Mar and Riot, it will flow into more blockchain-oriented plays like Zekin and Seawork, which it did. But so I don't know, like, I hope you guys just understand my logic. I'm not just like saying, oh, I think XNet's going to do well. Like, it kind of like that theory played out. It just sucks that it didn't work out for XNet. But Zekin, again, you guys, very easy. As always, draw your own trend lines on here. Just keep an eye on them for yourself if you are trading these stocks. So moving on, XNet, I'm sorry. XNet up next. Again, XNet right here printing a beautiful bull flag. So textbook bull flag, in my opinion, on XNet. Again, parabolic move up right there, followed by a descending triangle. I think it's very likely that this bull flag is resolved by March 24th. And I still think it's very, very likely that XNet ultimately comes up to test the top side of resistance on the short-term uptrend sooner than later once again. So if this plays out, if we do resolve this, just say March 26th, I know these two lines of resistance on two uptrends, on a short-term and more medium to long-term uptrend, do intersect. On March 30th exactly, that would take us to a $16 XNet, which is very, very exciting. You're seeing the 4-hour Stokes curl up right now. I love seeing that. And again, bull flags are one of my favorite patterns of the market. You guys who have been with me for a while know that. This is a textbook bull flag right here, and my money, as many of you know, again, shout out newsletter, shout out all you guys, Discord, everybody. You guys know that my money is very on this right now. So let's hope this plays out. If not, I'm comfortable with the rationale that I put into this, and this is, again, what I feel to be a logical decision. So if it doesn't play out, that's okay. That's the game. But I'm feeling very, very confident about this position. I'm very excited. If you guys are excited and maybe getting involved for yourselves as well. Closing it out with the space plays that our currency works in ALYI once again. And then we'll bring up the shares for you one more time just to show you guys my conviction around that freaking play. Okay, so currency works is in blue sky territory once again. Once we broke out of this sign line, which is previous a strong line of long-term support, we have been in this kind of just nice, somewhat ascending channel. So as you guys can see here, again, this is all you guys can look at this. I'm sure you're all seeing this. We are at the bottom line of support here. It's nice that we saw a little bounce there. We are in this ascending wedge pattern. So ascending wedges, if you're in a bull market, I think it's very likely it plays out to the upside. We are seeing a drop in volume. It looks I mean, some of these indicators aren't a little sus, and because Seawork, I mean, you're just seeing higher highs and higher lows though. Like, this is a perfect example. We are in blue sky territory again. We are in a technical breakout, so it's unlikely to me unless we break this, like unless we break right here, unless we break below $3. If we do break below $3, that would make me bearish on Seawork, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But until then, I'm bullish, and I think it's just I think we will just follow this ascending channel until we likely break out and shoot to the moon. Poof! Okay, so again, this chart, I keep mentioning this, but I think you guys will like hearing this. This chart looks so much like Riot Blockchain did back in early 2020, okay? So if, again, that obviously very different companies, but the charts look very similar and the setups look very similar. Even like market cap and price per share and stuff looks so similar. So I wouldn't be surprised if Seawork, again, obviously they have to execute from a fundamental perspective as a company, but, and it would be sick if these two are listed on the NYSE or the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, whatever, not OTC and available on platforms like Robinhood and stuff. Ultimate catalyst right there. That'd be so sick, and just cross your fingers for that, guys. But still, Seawork, I don't know, like, it will just follow this channel. I do expect it to break out of this ascending wedge, and as you guys know, as many of you know, not all of you guys, obviously, my price target for Seawork is going to be $10. I think it's very, very going to be very easy for Seawork to hit at least $10 by the end of this short to medium term. I would say I'll just call it medium term Bitcoin cryptocurrency bull market, because again, the bull market's not over. Let's close it out with alternate systems or ALYI, the space play. This, you guys, if you want to know exactly what weak hands look like, what a bunch of what a bunch of look like. I mentioned on my newsletter this morning, I was like, I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed. Definitely not mad though, because I got to pick up more. So alternate systems, again, you guys, just kick it off with a market cap of under $10 million. The reason I think this thing can 100x is because even if it 100x from here, it would still be sub $1 billion market cap. And after that video I watched yesterday, after like just the fundamental progress that this company's making, like it's so surprising that it's seriously, I mean, kind of that a true buy the hype, sell the news event, I guess. But I mean, for even me, who's a geek over ALYI, and we'll just talk about that now, that news was better than I expected. So it surprises me that some people really didn't like that news, or this is, again, because this is a small stock. Keep in mind, you guys, this is going to be prone to manipulation if you hold like it's because the market cap's so small. Like, you don't need many shares at all. Like, I have to be very responsible with these personally, and I am very responsible with these. But that's the thing, you guys. Be careful with this one because the market cap's so small. It's just so like it's literally just, again, based strictly on the market cap. It can be easily manipulated because it doesn't take many shares moving around to change the share price. So again, that's why I'm keeping my hands strong. I bought a pretty significant amount of shares today, as you guys can see. Again, I'll bring that back. I don't know why I closed that back out. AOY, this is my TD Ameritrade account. You guys, again, this is the brokerage platform I use for all my OTC. So CWork and AOY, it's all in my TD Ameritrade account. AOY, as of today, I have 4.25 million shares at a price of 8 cents. So I think my average cost for this is around 10 cents flat. So as you guys can see, I'm down over $100,000 on this right now. I paid $444,000 for these 4.25 million shares that are now worth $340,000. So I just want you guys to know, again, because the newsletter said that, I got so many responses in the newsletter saying that, and shout out to you guys, I really appreciate the feedback, saying that it made you feel a lot more confident and comfortable. And I want you guys, because this is, again, a speculative play, do your own research, do your own due diligence. This is a very, very sketchy, objectively speculative and sketchy play. But because I have conviction, because I see potential, I'm comfortable establishing a position this large because I have conviction for myself. Again, you guys, don't just listen to me. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. But this is what I'm doing, and if it does make you more comfortable, if it makes you feel like, oh, I mean, he always preaches AOY. Why is it going down? Trust me, you guys, I've been picking up. My average cost, my cost for the shares of ALY have gone up so significantly because I've been accumulating since the whole pullback from like 18 cents, 15 cents, 12 cents, now 8 cents. Like, I'm bullish on the stock. And again, after yesterday, I'm so bullish. And just be careful for potential, like, just, I don't know, just people selling off and wanting to, like, scaring people out. Because again, this red candle scared a lot of people out. Maybe this guy's going to buy up a whole bunch tomorrow. So I've seen this happen in Bitcoin, you guys. This still happens a lot in Bitcoin. So just these sectors that are, again, especially like Bitcoin's a perfect example in crypto because it's a 24-hour market. There's very little, like, legal regulation around. There's obviously more regulation around equities, but like Bitcoin, you got to watch out for manipulation. And because I've traded Bitcoin and stuff for so long, that's why I'm very cautious and aware of this manipulation, and also why I capitalize it for myself, and again, why I picked up way more shares of ALY today. So very bullish. Again, you guys, we are still, from a technical perspective, sorry about that, I just wanted to get that off my chest. Rants, you guys, again, I hope that did make you feel a little more comfortable. And again, I always say I'm putting my money where my mouth is, so I hope you guys appreciate just the fact that I actually like showed you guys a little screenshot of that position in my TD. Anyway, I still think it's very likely, like, unless we break below like 7.7 cents. Ooh, look at all those sevens. I like that. Unless we break below this number right here, it's just hard to read. So 0.77 cents. Then I think we're just going to be on our way back to test the line of short-term resistance on on the short-term uptrend. So almost got there today, sold off again. Butterfingers, scared hands, sold off. Gave me and the boys an opportunity to eat, to stack up the plates, to stack up the A5 Wagyu on our plates. Again, as long as we're above this, we're still technically setting a higher low. So again, classic tale of higher highs and higher lows. High, low, higher high. We're still in a higher low unless we break below this. That would make me a little worried. But even the downside potential, if we do break below this, is still minimal. I think worst case scenario over the coming days, if we do see a break in AOYI, I don't think we break below like 74 cents just to come to test the line of support on the shorter term uptrend beginning on March 10th. I think it's pretty unlikely we break below that, and then maybe we'll start the run up again. But ultimately, you guys, I think it's more likely than not that we do test the top side of the short term uptrend because we are still setting higher highs and higher lows. If that happens, by the end of this week on March 26th, that would take us to just under a 14-cent ALYI, almost a 2x from here. And again, you guys, I'm going to be eating pretty. So every time you guys hear me talk about ALYI, you guys can think about how many shares I own and just like the conviction I have around this company from a fundamental perspective on the long term. All right. So that said, as you guys know, I do think this trend line will come into play at some point again, just because it was a very, very strong trend line on the uptrend that we're technically still on once again. So I do think this still has potential to come in play. If we hit this, say, by the end of the month, that would take us to a 27.5-cent ALYI. That would set a new yearly high for ALYI as well. Break 20 cents, which was the previous high back in mid-February, early February. And then I think it's very likely we ultimately come up to test the top line of resistance. Say this thing goes ballistic just over the course of the next week, which I think is a little unlikely after today's shakeup. Investor sentiment will need to be rebuilt, but that's all right. Things take time. Just be patient. Patient pays. I do think that ultimately these lines of resistance will be tested. I honestly think if we really see a breakout, it's very likely that these come into play. Even this is kind of a conservative trend line because it's just below that all-time high. That would take us to, by April 1st, 63 cents. If we extend it further out than that, if we hit it, say, mid-April, April 15th, that would take us to 75 cents. All right. So again, just super exciting potential here. Like, I hope you guys understand why I'm excited about this stock. I showed you guys the video yesterday. Go watch the video for yourself. Again, it could have been way better. Straight up, it could have been way better, and I trust they will make better ones in the future, but I'm happy. It's something. This thing's a freaking $9 million company, and I think if they do continue to execute on their vision, they haven't proven to me that they're not executing on what they're saying they're going to do. So again, I have faith. I remain faithful. I remain very bullish on this company, and I'll continue to buy shares on every single dip because I do have a $1, then $10, then $100 price target for this thing. A $100 ALYI price, a share, would just be $10 billion. Freaking Nikola has almost had the same amount of product as ALYI, like very similar story to ALYI, and they got the $20 billion valuation. So again, you guys, just everything that's going on with this stock. I know it sounds like I'm pushing it, and I kind of am just because I'm so excited about it. But I'm not affiliated with this company directly. I'm just super pumped on this play. And yeah, please let me know if you guys are as pumped on this play as I am, because I'm sure many of you aren't, but that's why I save it for the end for those of you who want to watch. So please let me know what of the plays we talked about today you're the most excited about. If you think this correction is temporary, what your price targets are personally. Again, always love talking shop with you guys. Always love learning from you guys. So I'll see you downstairs in the comments. And until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.